right, board fam, we got something fun today. We have a solo clip from Nerdrotic, not a pre-recorded, like edited, scripted video, a solo clip from Nerdrotic talking about Lanterns episode 2. And it feels weird. I don't remember the last time I watched a clip of Nerdrotic by himself. Typically he's with the panel, but today it's just him. So let's hear what he has to say about Lanterns episode 2. I'm sure it's going to be great.
Nerdrotic.com.
The episode is boring as fuck.
Oh.
Like nothing happens. So Hal Jordan dies at the end of the first episode. We're back in 2016 for the entirety of this episode.
Okay.
And Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan are doing a little...
Well, what are we doing? Why are you telling us what happened? You said nothing happens. So, I mean, like, this video is, what, 19, 20 minutes long? 20 minutes worth of talking for an episode of TV where he says nothing happens. Okay.
Training. He's going to teach him how to fly. Jon Stewart's like, we need to get on this case.
That
There's
sounds like
murders,
something
blah,
to
blah,
me.
blah, blah, blah. And he's like,
sounds like something.
Unclench, Junior. We're going to show you how to fly. But instead of flying, he manifests a bird.
Okay.
His construct is a bird, which is a living thing now. And he did it with
Well, it's not a living thing. We see at the end of the episode, he smashes it, and it's just a construct. It's not a living thing. He has to continue to will it into existence because it's not alive. It's not real.
Ring that's low on power, and it stayed alive. And this is just this magnificent thing.
It's not alive or dead. It's not even, it's a construct.
Another thing is Hal Jordan, being the retard that he is, he took off without his lantern, and he never went back and got it. A guy who flies across fucking a galaxy can't go back to Coast City to go grab his lantern reel.
I mean, people forget stuff all the time. I went on a trip recently and I forgot an entire bag of clothes. It happens, right? Like the show is this is called building the narrative of the show. It's showing you who Hal is as a person. This is who he is. Sometimes he's careless. Sometimes he flies by the seat of his pants. That's who Hal is. It is a visual representation within the story of who Hal is as a person. That's what we're doing. We're watching a show where we get to see things. And instead of reading a book where you're like, oh, I'm reading what this person is doing and I can hear their inner monologue and I can understand why they're making decisions. Instead of that happening, we have to watch it on screen, and therefore we need to be shown things visually because that's what we're doing. We're watching a TV show. Show, don't tell. That's kind of the rule, right? Show, don't tell. So when they show us something, then you're like, oh, this sucks. Why are we doing this? It's because it's giving us, it's establishing who Hal is as a person in the DCU. You don't have to like it, but it's not a plot hole. It's not this isn't something they didn't do on purpose and they just forgot about it. Like they didn't forget about it. Clearly, it's part of the story in the episode.
Quick, and he'd be back in a flash, right? Nope. Hal Jordan hands him some.
It's almost like he sent Jon to do this to get Jon out of his hair. It's almost like that's what they said in the episode. Multiple things showed us that Hal was making Jon do this either to get him away while he did some investigating without Jon, to get him away so that he could focus on training with this construct. There's multiple reasons why he would have sent Jon away that have nothing to do with him not being efficient on getting the lantern. Media literacy.
Plane ticket says, go fly back and get my lantern.
Yes.
So he basically does that to get rid of him. So he basically does that to get rid of him. So you do understand why he did it. It wasn't some sort of issue with Hal Jordan being incapable of getting the lantern himself or being forgetful or something like that. It is part of his personality, and you did understand it, but you're still complaining about it. It's so disingenuous. It really is. To sit around and try so hard to hate something where you contradict your own thoughts
in your video. Like you're retelling this and you're acknowledging that you understand, but then you also act like you didn't understand. It's so performative.
Has very little to no power left in the ring, and he's going to start doing some really stupid shit. And we'll get into that stupid shit. But here is I mean, I'm kind of thankful for this because it broke the monotony.
I'm not going to show this clip. I would love to show it, but I've tried to watch this somewhere else and it gets claimed and then the video gets blocked. So we're not going to be able to watch the clip. But I will tell you, this is the conversation between Zoe and John, where they're having a conversation about motivations, right? Who they are as people and what their life looks like in this world. We're in Nebraska. It is a very white part of the country. Even I guess in the DCU it is too. Rushville, Nebraska, very white part of the country. You have a rancher that I guess they're like, these guys even said it's like a white man, bad guy type character. So you have this rancher who we know is doing something underhanded. And so John wants to know about Zoe's relationship in this group. And so she starts talking about it from her perspective. And then John starts talking about his relationship with Hal from his perspective. And look at the clip. It's 1 minute and 7 seconds of like a 53-minute episode. That's all it is. And, you know, the funny thing is, there's another video, like I said, there is a clip with a panel of them, and we might watch that before the end of the weekend. It's a 35-minute clip, but I think it's like from Friday Night Tights. It's probably a clip from there, where it's talking about this entire interaction like it's such a big part of the episode. Like it takes up so much air out of the episode, so much time out of the episode. And you're not going to beat the allegations, okay? Which maybe they're not trying to. Maybe they don't care, right? You're not going to beat the allegations of like the racist behavior that happens under your watch by getting mad about a 1 minute and 7 second clip where two people of color, the only two people of color in the show that we know of right now, are discussing what it looks like for them in this space in a way that makes sense within the narrative of the story. And I'm pretty sure it's going to make sense even more after next week's episode. But I digress. We're going to skip the clip, but we'll get to hear what Nerdrotic has to say.
So Jon Stewart said, I wouldn't have fucked you if I knew you were married. And she's all, I'm glad you didn't know. And I'm just looking at that face going, listen, for the rest of humanity with the beer goggles on, absolutely. Don't.
I mean, here we go again with like disparaging how the woman look. What did she do to deserve this? You know what I mean? Like we are attacking how she looks because we don't like the character in the show. This is the same, like they just keep proving Millie Alcock right about how they objectify women in a way like they own their bodies. Like they can talk about them any way they want. This is my car. I'll kick it if I want. I can say what I want about it. The actress Porna, who's playing Zoe, is incredibly beautiful. But like I said during my live stream, it doesn't even matter if she is or isn't by conventional standards. She doesn't deserve to have these guys grossly oogling her and demeaning her as a 53-year-old woman while being okay that men in their 60s can bend women over beds and bang them, and that's just fine. It's weird. You guys, it's very fucking weird. But here we are. This is the kind of content we get here on YouTube. Great place for actual discussions about the quality of TV shows.
Don't chat. Don't. Absolutely. Okay. I've been in the real world. Absolutely. So many would. Listen, I'm a happily married man, but so many would. Just stop. Don't say you wouldn't. It's okay. But this is Aaron Pierre. I mean, I'm not even sure he likes women, to be honest with you.
So the misogyny, the objectification, the homophobia, it all comes from the same fucking place. It really does. And it makes me wonder, like, when I was making content on my other channel prior to like 2018, 2019, as a gay man, I never even discussed being gay in a big way on my channel, on my Eric's Reloaded channel. I never even discussed it. It might have come up like 1 or 2 times over the years, but it was never even a big part of my channel. And most of the people that subscribed to me didn't even know or never even thought about asking me. I could review TV shows and movies and never even discuss it, ever. But these guys have to constantly remind us that they're straight men and being gay, blah, blah, blah. And is she ugly? Is she not ugly? Would I hit it? Would I not hit it? These are the kind of conversations they have, and it's totally irrelevant to discussing the stuff that they're watching, whether it be a TV show or a movie. It is irrelevant. The fact that you guys complain that they put these things in movies and TV shows, but then you also do it yourselves on your streams, on your podcast, tells me that you don't actually have a problem with it. Your issue with it is you're not the ones calling the shots. It's about control. It's not about actual content.
She might not be playing for his team for all I know.
Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
But he's probably a straight dude. No, Aaron Pierre's beer goggles.
But see, this is the thing. If he were to come out, they'd say, well, why did you have to come out? Who needs to know if you're gay? Why did you come out of the closet? Why is it front page news? Why is everybody talking about it? He's just virtue signaling, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But here you are trying to investigate whether he's gay or not. So a gay person, when they come out on their own terms, that's a problem. But if they're closeted on their own terms, they need to be gay-vestigated by these guys. They need to figure out whether this guy is having sex with another man or not. If he's in a relationship with another man. They want to so desperately know, and they want to figure it out on their own. But when a gay person or a bi person or a trans person or whatever decides to tell the world using their own power to do it, these guys have an issue with it. It's every time.
Would be a 10. Okay. So we have to suspend our disbelief for that bullshit. But they're talking about the husband, and she's all, what do you think of a husband? He's all, I think he's weird. I think he's really weird. And she says what she just said there. That's the context leading up to the eccentric white privilege. You put that with what they said last week when Jon Stewart was on the phone with his dad, and his dad said, well, they can have temper tantrums. We can't.
But see, you're reading race into that. And I've heard other people say that. That doesn't come off as racial to me. He might be talking about superheroes. He might be talking about lanterns. He didn't specifically say white people. He didn't even talk about it at all. Now, in this scene, yeah, absolutely. It's very clear the conversation they're having. So why would they pussyfoot around it in one episode and then boldly discuss it in another? Why would they do that? It seems to me like they're very comfortable having the conversation. The writers and everybody that put the episode together, they're very comfortable with it. They spend a whole 1 minute and 7 seconds of a 53-minute episode talking about it. So clearly it's just overtaking the rest of the episode. I find it funny that you're spending so much of this clip even talking about it, to be honest.
So when I first heard that, I thought, oh, they must be talking about superheroes.
Yes.
No, they were talking about white people.
How do you know? You still don't know if that's what they meant. You don't know if that's what he meant when he said that. But of course you're going to feel offended by it. And this is the one thing about my community, about the white community, especially white men, that gets me. Why is it that we can never accept that we have done things or are doing things that are bad? And I'm not saying for me specifically. I've gone through my trials and tribulations about stuff growing up. But it seems like there's a huge portion of my age demographic that's like, white people, we're always portrayed as villains. It's always an issue. It's always a problem with us. Yeah, we've done some bad shit. We continue to do bad shit. And a lot of it does have to do with our skin, with us being white. So that's why we're talking about it and discussing it. Nobody's asking you to feel guilty about being who you are. That is something you're projecting. And you're doing that because that's how you feel about other people. You want apologies and you want guilt placed on other people. So it reflects back on you, right? Nobody's asking that. That is not, well, I say nobody. No one that I know is asking that. It is simply being aware that these things exist and that they are a problem. That's why it's like, Just think of it that way. Like, identify that it's a problem, and then you work towards a solution to that problem. But instead, what you guys are doing is you're like, there is no problem, blah, 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 fuck you. And that's why it's such a struggle. Just acknowledge that it is a real thing and that it is a problem, and then we can all work together to correct it. I am a solution-based person. These guys are problem-centric people. Everything is a problem and there is no solution. There's never a solution for the problem.
Now, I just want to remind you who writes this show. A couple of white dudes.
Okay.
A couple of elitist, progressive white dudes.
Okay.
So it taking place in 2016 is appropriate because it feels very 2000.
This clip again. Holy shit. I said they're going back to their greatest hits. They're even going back to this again. That's pretty crazy.
2016. I mean, it's dated. It's dated for like even now. And now we understand why
it's dated because it takes place in 2016. You see how stupid this is? You see how stupid it is? The show takes place in 2016 and 2026. This episode was the 2016 era. So yeah, it's dated because it took place a decade ago. You guys have no problem going back and talking about shows from a decade ago. Like, you'll go back and do your greatest hits all day. That's not dated. That's obviously topical. To go back and talk about She-Hulk, right? That's not dated at all. You guys will do that and you're like, we can get away with it. I wonder why. I wonder why you guys can get away with it. Is there something special about you on YouTube that makes you think you just get away with anything? I don't know. I'm having a little fun. But yeah, it's dated because it's from 2016. Takes place in 2016.
Damon Lindelof hasn't been getting a shit ton of work lately because he sucks. So he did the writing for The Hunt and Mrs. Davis, a TV miniseries. So he hasn't done much, like at all, in the last 6.
What difference does that make? There are directors that take like 10 years between projects. This is a nothing burger.
Years. This is the first thing he's written since the smash Emmy Award winning Watchmen.
Yep.
And none of those Emmy Awards had anything to do with the black female lead, the temperature in America at the time, the Summer of Love, Black Lives Matter, Hollywood.
So it's really interesting that your issue with it is, I guess, that there was stuff about black people in it. Why are we going through and like, oh, well, it had nothing to do with any of this black stuff. The success of that show, where it's literally about racism, had nothing to do with any of the black stuff. Awesome. Again, not beating the allegations.
What's reaction to it? It was all earned on merit, everybody. Okay.
Got it.
And somebody from Bad Reboot would capitalize on a movement and try to hitch their wagon to it to self-aggrandize and win awards. They would never do that. Ever. Oh, they do that all the time.
Right.
They do that all the time.
So you think that he got hired to do this show based on nothing? I mean, he's worked with these people before. Like, he's worked with this studio before. Okay, so they would know more than you know about his capabilities behind the scenes. So am I going to take their word for it or your word for it? Like, am I going to listen to the studio where it's like, this guy has done an award-winning show for us. We trust his work. He's done good in the past. Or tinfoil hat, conspiracy theory, all they do is virtue signal, complain about racist stuff, Nerdrotic. Why? Like, which path am I going to take there? It shouldn't be a hard and difficult thing for you to figure out which path you should take. Like, you don't want to go down the path with the guy who is saying, trust me, bro. That's not a good path.
Jar Jar Abrams' Bad Reboot and his disciples, Damon Lindelof, Alex Kurtzman, Lindsay Weber, J.D. Payne, Patrick McKay, have done more damage to Hollywood than 10,000 Harvey Weinsteins. They have destroyed.
Ooh. I don't even know if I want to touch that one. Is this a review for Lanterns? I mean, You showed the clip about them talking about race, and then we spent the rest of the time going over previous projects that Damon Lindelof worked on. We've even gone back to Star Wars at this point, right? So like, you talked about them being dated. Look at what you're doing.
It's Star Wars, Star Trek. They fucked up Westworld. They're fucking up DC right now. They fucked up Lord of the Rings. And
They fucked it up so much that it had a great premiere. Interesting. Also, like, we're talking about J.J. Abrams now. We've shifted from the team behind, Lanterns and DC to fucking J.J. Abrams? What is this, like, thought spaghetti that we're doing here?
Jar Jar almost made it into DC. He was trying to worm his way into DC. And honestly, I think James Gunn taking over, I don't know who would do a worse job, to be honest. Now that I've seen it, I would automatically say Jar Jar would do a worse job. But it's hard. It's hard to say right now. They both suck. You know what? Snyder's better than both of them. Now, that doesn't.
Snyder bro shit. Yeah, Zack Snyder isn't better than both of them. This is cope.
It means Snyder is great. It just means he's better than both of them. Okay, let's hear this all over again.
We're not going to watch it again. We're going to skip it again, but we'll jump back in when he's.
I'm pretty talkative in the first part, and then it just gets boring. So I'm just sitting there. Well, I'm like Hassan or 99% of the streamers on Twitch and YouTube right now who just fucking sit there and watch shit and not saying anything. And then the chat starts going, wait for it. Oh, wait for it. Here it comes. Here it comes.
I want to remind you guys, this is a 20-minute review of that episode. We are like 7 minutes in, and the only thing he's really talked about is the 1 minute scene between John and Zoe. I mean, I hope we get to more stuff. That would be a little bit more entertaining, because we get that the racist shit is part of the course for Nerdrotic. We get it. We get the racism, bro. We got it. Can we move on to something else?
And it was that. I'm like, what the fuck? So I look in, and this is like over 2/3 of the way into the episode. I'm like, oh shit, I was waiting for something to actually happen.
He wanted me out the way, so he sent me to fetch his things.
Boy. Hey, how's your black man? How's your yellow man?
Again, it's not even about the phrasing. It's that they want tit for tat, right? They need everything. They talk about like diversity and equity and inclusion and all these things that we don't need that it's okay that sometimes certain groups aren't always mentioned or represented. But here, clearly his issue is that they're talking about white guys in a negative way, so they should also talk about black guys in a negative way, right? Because that's what he wants. He wants equality. So they're arguing for the thing that they complain is a problem every day on their channel. Equality is a problem, except when white guys are not given equal treatment as someone else in a movie or TV show. And then the DEI comes out. Then they want equality. Then they want shared time. Then they want shared space, dialogue. They want all that. They want all that shit.
And when two writers who are white men, I know, Rumble, you're not going to consider one of them white. I know, but they're white men. It's so pandering and so obvious. And
so let me get this right. You as a white guy can talk about black people like dogs. You can ride the racism razor all day long, right over the line, crossing over it like it's nothing. It's okay for you to do that. But if anybody says you're just out here virtue signaling for your side, you're out here doing XYZ, it's racism, it's all these things. Those are, how dare they say that about me? How dare they do that? I'm above reproach. You can't do that. But you have no problem accusing white guys who are doing something pretty fucking incredible by acknowledging this shit, right? They're doing these incredible things. You have no problem calling them all kinds of names, accusing them of stuff with literally no proof whatsoever, mind reading the fuck out of them, insinuating that they're doing it as white guys as performative. But if somebody says, hey, Nerdrotic over here saying all this racist stuff, it's performative. Oh no, we can't do that because then that would be reading his mind. How do we know? But then his fans would come over here and say, well, he knows. He definitely knows what these guys are doing and what they're about in Hollywood. He doesn't fucking know. It's a double standard. Which, by the way, again, now we are over 7 minutes into this video and we're still talking about the 1 minute clip.
They don't care about a cause.
You don't know that.
I want to bring it back to 2020 when Watchmen was written. It was very opportunistic.
Like, holy fuck. How is this even called a review of the episode? How is this a review of Lanterns? You're watching this with me. We are feeling the pain together. How is this a review of Lanterns episode 2?
Dick, Hollywood is an opportunistic town. They love to talk about the causes and charities they work for and leave out the tax evasion and the fact that they're debaucherous.
Well, they don't. If it's something that we know, then nobody's leaving it out, right? So, like, if we are privy to things that are going on, like tax evasion or any other shit you might be accusing them of, if we're privy to that, then it's not like they're able to cover it up because we know. We already know it. But you're not going to see people on their jobs going out there trying to do their job and go, yeah, some people in this industry, we're out here, we're trying to do our job and we want to do some good shit, but then we got the store down the street, they're doing some shady stuff. We're going to talk about that and never try to do anything with our store, with our business. Let's just talk about something that another company is doing. Who does that? Like, this is just a fucking stupid thing to say.
Degenerates, but how good of people they are on their 5th marriage, constantly like simply cheating on your wife is like, I mean,
should we talk about the people that these guys support and cheating on wives and how many marriages they've been in? Should we have that conversation, or should I just let the shade do its shadiness? We're going to let the shade do its shadiness. Because y'all know. You already know. I don't have to say. But holy fuck, the self-awareness is non-existent. It's crawled all the way up his asshole. It's residing in a very dark place at the moment, where the shade is thick.
We've all just kind of like, is that all you did? They're the ones constantly telling us how to live, but Bad Reboot,
nobody's telling you how
I'll
to live.
Never let him forget this, was the one who said during the riots while cities were burning,
we are still, bro, this 1 minute scene broke them. This 1 minute fucking clip in the episode has broken these guys. This is like the 4th video I've watched from this group. I haven't uploaded all of them yet, but this is like the 4th one I've watched, where they're just fucking stuck on this scene. It's like cannot compute. They're getting hung up on it. There's more stuff in the episode to talk about, but they're ignoring it because they need a W. You guys have to understand, they need this show to pay their bills. This is their job. I want to restate that. These guys do this for a living. And when somebody makes a paycheck doing this stuff and their behavior is like this, it always raises questions. I would even say in some ways, it's a big red flag. It's a big red flag. Can you review are you capable as a critic of reviewing the episode? Is that possible? Or is it just race baiting stuff? Is that all it is? Is that the totality of the episode for you is a 1 minute clip? It melted you down so much. You are so fried on this clip that you're talking about BLM. They cooked you so bad, you're now talking about this. What the fuck does this have to do with the scene that we watched in the episode of Lanterns? Nothing. It has nothing to do with it. But to them, every issue with black people is connected together. It's all just one big umbrella of black people stuff.
They put out a statement that's enough of this, enough of that, but they said enough white comfort. So the other part of the story is Hal Jordan goes full detective mode while John's
finally, thank you. Whatever God out there heard me, he's finally talking about something else. It only took half of the fucking video.
Jordan is off getting his lantern. He goes to the town hall meeting and is disruptive, and then gets a phone call and leaves. And then he decides to go to the police station because the entire town is at the town hall and nobody's at the police station. And he pulls out a bunch of dead bodies of the victims of the shooting at the football game. We find out that it was Will Macon, the Taylor Sheridan villain. His people shot up the aliens. Didn't get arrested for some reason.
We have white privilege.
Because
I mean, they're establishing it in the episode why he does it. He's a man of means and kind of controls the town. All right.
I guess now that we know they're aliens and they could just kill aliens and endanger people at football games and nobody get arrested, whatever. So Hal Jordan steals these bodies to take...
I mean, that, to be quite honest, that is the establishment of the mystery of the show. Like, why are these people capable of doing this and getting away with it? Why? These guys get mad that questions are presented on a mystery show. It's the same thing every time.
Them through a metal detector at the stadium in broad daylight, and it turns out to be an alien detector.
Yes.
But first I couldn't believe he was doing. I don't know why he fucking did this. He goes in the back of the Toyota and he gets the jack. He gets the jack, which is metal. So he's probably testing to see if the metal detector is on him. All okay, that's not bad. Then he takes the grill off the Toyota. I'm like, that thing's plastic. What the fuck are you doing? It's a plastic grill.
He is trying to, so it doesn't detect metal. So he's trying to make sure that it's not detecting something else. So he's trying different objects made of different things to see if it goes off, to make sure there's no false positives. Media literacy. At this point, it's life literacy with these guys.
The metal thing on it may be a screw, which might not set off a metal detector, by the way. But I'm like, why is he ripping off the grill of the car? Just take the tire iron. Exactly. And I wasn't going to go back and like, what's the point of doing that? It's plastic. I know. I sold a bunch of them. That's a good guess.
It could have been product placement, but it also could have been trying to prevent a false positive, which is the most likely scenario. But they also could have used it. Two things can be true at once.
Placement for Toyota, but the emblem is not metal. So he drags the naked bodies, broad daylight, all four of them through, and they set off the alien detector. And then he gets pulled over with the 4 dead bodies in the car. The sheriff chews them out. She obviously knows more than he does.
Right, because remember last time you guys were complaining that she was yelling at him, and it didn't make sense why she was yelling at him about how powerful Macon was? The last time I watched you guys, you were yelling, like, why is she saying this to a lantern? Why is she doing this? And I said at that time, it's probably because she knows a lot more than what she's telling us. And now we find out in this episode, we get a little bit more. We find out that, yeah, she does know a lot more than she's telling us. It's almost like we're watching a TV show, and certain things you have to wait to find out if they're going to get answered later on. So I want to chalk that up. I'll give myself a little gold star for that. I know these guys hate when people get gold stars. I'm going to get a gold star for that because I was right.
And everybody knows more than we do. It's mystery box bullshit. They go to the ranch. He gets fucking shot. They shoot a Green Lantern. Right. And they're like, you're trespassing. He's standing with the fucking sheriff.
Yes. And if you remember last episode, she warned him. And you guys were like, what is he going to do to a Green Lantern? How are they going to stop a Green Lantern? How can he possibly get hurt? You guys said it in your panel. It was said on the Film Threat panel. How are they going to hurt Hal Jordan? He's Hal Jordan. He's a Green Lantern. We now know, because these guys have a chokehold on the town to the point where the sheriff won't even do anything. This is called storytelling. We're learning that these guys have enough power they can shoot him, because it's probably legal. I'd have to look it up. Maybe they'll address it in the show. Who knows? It's probably legal if you've been trespassed. They can shoot you on their property. I mean, we're talking about a fictional version of the state. So and the guy's got a chokehold on the city. So we're being shown visually on a TV show. This is why the guy's a threat.
Okay. I am guessing no matter where the fuck you are, even in Texas, if you shoot somebody in front of a sheriff, the sheriff will at least go, hold up, wait.
This makes no sense. So you're applying real world, like you're saying, because in the real world where we don't have superheroes and we don't have aliens, that if this were to happen, the sheriff would probably do something about it. You do realize that we had Hal driving around with dead bodies in his car, and she didn't do anything about that. But the shooting him for trespassing, that's the issue that she has. Also, again, these guys were advocating that Hal should have just broken the law and done whatever he wanted anyway last time. So standards don't exist in the flop watching world.
Wait a minute. It's like, what the fuck? So he got shot in the shoulder. No hard feelings. Now, Jon Stewart, when he went out to go get the lantern, he got abducted by a bunch of old men. It's like Timu Mike Ehrmantraut, who many are speculating are the Red Lanterns. I can hear you. I tried to bring this up last week, and you're like, and as rightly so was, what? Why? So this show is filled with like, hey, this show's got fucking Sinestro and the Guardians and the Manhunters and maybe Atrocitus.
So it's called Lanterns because we have Green Lanterns. We're going to have some of the yellows. We're going to have some of the reds, maybe other colors too. That's why it's called Lanterns and not Green Lantern. Are you getting it? Is it starting to make a little bit of sense yet?
And Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, oh, they're all just a bunch of dudes and old guys in their street clothes. But that's
because they're blending in. I mean, if they are Red Lanterns, they're doing it to blend in. Am I losing my mind? I mean, there's bad faith criticism, and then there's just ignorance. There's just ignorance at a certain point.
Future of superheroes. We could make like Dallas and just say it's Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and they all just live on a fucking mansion somewhere.
It's almost like you're understanding that the superhero genre is a hybrid subgenre of other things. Yes, you could have a Western with superheroes. You could have a sitcom with superheroes. You could have a mystery with superheroes. You have an action thriller with superheroes. You're almost getting it. You're right there.
Where in their street clothes. It's
yes.
Smallville. But Smallville at least tried. But you're right. It's Smallville. So even Grant Morrison was...
But it's not Smallville, because Smallville was definitely less into the actual comic book material than Green Lanterns. If we're talking about the first season... they just really didn't want to lean too heavily into it. I enjoyed Smallville, at least the beginning seasons. Some people like the later seasons, but it's a discussion for another video.
Critical, and he said, "Listen, this is obviously budgetary," and he's right. He's right. They're not putting, but they're also trying to.
So do you guys want inflated budgets or not? What is the Like if you've watched these guys for any length of time, which hopefully you did it without real interest in the channel, you're doing it like me. If you watch them for any length of time, they've complained about Hollywood spending too much money on movies and TV shows. So here you have a show where they're like, we're going to do lanterns, but if it is a budget issue, we're going to scale it back to watch out for the budget and save it up for like the end of the season or whatever. And they have a problem with it. So now all of a sudden I guess they should have spent more money on the show, right? They should have done that. Or they could have done a B-list, C-list, D-list character where these guys would have complained that it's not Batman or Wonder Woman or someone else. Like there is no metric. There's no goal achievable for DC. If they make a low budget Green Lantern TV show, these guys would complain about it because like right here, they're making up reasons why they don't like it and complaining about it. But if they did a TV show based on Supergirl, they'd complain that Supergirl's not popular enough. You see what I'm getting at here? There is no way for DC to win because these guys will have an excuse for everything. It's just excuse bingo.
This bullshit that they're trying to distance themselves from the Ryan Reynolds movie. Could you remind me, chat, you lovely chat, how long has it been since the Ryan Reynolds movie came out? Because I think the passage of time is enough distance. 15 years? I think 15 years is enough time. 15 fucking years. You're separated. You're pretty separated from it. Okay, so you want to get a younger audience, which nobody's watching, by the way. So if this audience is, 25? They were 10 when that came out.
They're not trying to get a younger audience. It is a TVMA show. Okay, it's a mature show in their prestige slot on Sundays, where the viewing audience can go up to the age of 54 years old. Okay, they have a top-end audience of 54. So this isn't just trying to go after a younger audience. This has got a very wide net. The Sunday night slots go from like 25 to 54. So it's a wide net when it comes to the audience. And it's TVMA. So they can't be going but for so young of an audience.
Barely going to remember it. So that's bullshit. They just wanted to make a superhero True Detective because it was cheap. It was derivative, and they don't believe in Green Lanterns. They think it's a silly idea. The people who own...
Except they put Guy Gardner in the Superman movie. There's no better example than what we're looking at right here. They use Green Lantern in Superman, but somehow they're ashamed of Green Lantern and they want a derivative TV show based on the same mythos. And we know that Guy Gardner is going to be in Man of Tomorrow as well, along with Jon Stewart. So what you're saying doesn't hold up. It just doesn't hold up.
Green Lanterns think Green Lanterns is silly. And if you're not going to respect it, why in the fuck should we? This is a masterpiece of storytelling. Yeah, I heard that with HBO Watchmen too. So he gets,
and you still don't get why. This is why it's so funny to me. You don't understand Watchmen, so why should I believe that you're going to understand something like Lanterns? You know what I mean? Like, why should I believe that? You don't even get Watchmen, so of course you're not going to get Lanterns. You can't even understand the basic concepts delivered to you in Watchmen. So Lanterns must be well above your punching range, well above your weight class.
Abducted by mysterious organization of superpowered beings, and then he gets a nail gun to his head. That's going to show us some exposition. Now, it might be something different. It might be something different from Red Lanterns. I'm just talking about what other people are saying online. I can't even be bothered to care that much, but
you've made, this is like, I mean, to be quite clear, this is like the third or fourth video I've seen from the Nerdrotic content pipeline about a show that they don't care about. I don't believe that. Everything you're doing tells me that you do care. You care enough to talk about it this way because you have to push a message in order to fund your channels. That's why you're doing this. It's too many similar opinions about specific things for it to just be organic. Something like, imagine the numbers flying in front of my face. Something doesn't add up. The math doesn't add up.
Their planet, whatever the main guy is, he said his planet has been destroyed by manhunters, and I want you to see. You need to see. So I'm like, okay, we're going to see some manhunters. We're going to see what they've done to other races. So they put the little exposition gun to Jon Stewart's head, and they don't show us anything.
Oh, so now you want to see stuff. So now you want to see it. Before, the issue was they were showing us stuff. But now they keep something from us, and now you're like, I want to see it. Inconsistent request. You don't even know what the fuck you want from the show.
The guy goes, you need to see. So Jon Stewart has seen, they have seen, but we haven't seen.
Right.
Why haven't we seen? Budget.
No, we haven't seen it because there's something in that vision that's going to give away something that we're probably going to find out maybe next episode. That's the most logical reason. But sure, use budget. Apparently you don't know anything about the show. So whatever, say googly gob, whatever. It's like you don't know anything, man.
And mystery box. They go through all that to not show us anything. But that's part of the story, man. Yeah, you know what? I don't give a fuck.
But you do because you're complaining about it. When people don't give a fuck about something, they tend to just not give a fuck. That's usually how it works. Like, I don't give a fuck about NASCAR, so I don't talk about it. I don't think about it. It's not something that I even consider because I don't give a fuck about it. I don't give a fuck about a lot of different foods. Guess what? I don't think about them. I don't talk about them. When you say I don't give a fuck, I find it really hard to believe when you've dissected a 1 minute and 7 second scene so heavily that you've reversed all the way back to BLM and J.J. Abrams. That doesn't tell me that you don't give a fuck. It tells me that you give too much of a fuck about the wrong things.
So they want him to find the manhunter, the most dangerous species on the planet in this town, and tell them, whoever this organization is, Red Lanterns, whatever the fuck they are. So basically, Jon Stewart can investigate behind Hal Jordan's back. Well, Jon Stewart tells Hal Jordan, like, what's going on, everything that's going on. And it has something that, and they bring up Sinestro. They also bring up Sinestro in a conversation with Hal Jordan and Sheriff Girlboss, who used to work at Gotham, by the way.
So she's still a girl boss, even though you call her a girl boss, but then you admitted earlier that she just watched Hal get shot and didn't do anything. So, that's so girl bossy, right? That's such a girl boss thing to do. To just watch somebody do something and you be completely and totally okay with them doing it in your face and not saying a word. That's such a girl boss move.
Oh boy, another mention of Gotham. We won't see Batman in a TV thing forever. So in the end, Sinestro's name gets brought up, and Aaron Pierce, Jon Stewart, asks how.
It's really funny that you claim they're ashamed of the source material, but when they name something like Gotham, you're like, oh God, they mentioned Gotham. So do you or do you not want them to do things that connect to the greater DC universe? Which one of those things do you want?
Jordan, like, what Sinestro got to do with this? What's going on? He's all, it's above your pay grade, Junior. Jon Stewart brought his costume back with the lantern, thought it would be useful. And the costume looks fucking terrible. You guys have seen it, but like, it is not good. It is not good. So he puts on the costume and he flies to Oa and he meets old man Sinestro, played by the guy from Banshee. Great actor. All right. That looks cool. That looks cool. Great. This is probably the only time we're going to see it. just so you know. And
so did you watch the episode, or are these just a series of clips that you watched online? Everything you've shown on your screen so far has been like a clip of it. So you just like jump through clips? I don't totally understand.
The 8-episode series, here's Oa. This is the one time you're going to see it. But that costume looks like shit. Damon Lindelof. So he goes, and there's Sinestro, who's basically a guy with a sunburn. And again, I love this actor. I think he's great. Watch Banshee. Banshee is the shit. It is such a good show.
Sinestro.
So the costume's supposed to be worn out like Hal. And he had other costumes that were newer. And that thing looks like, I mean, X-Ray Girl, does that not look like it smells? There's a point where he brings up, like, tell me how you piss in the costume. Well, you make a construct, dickhead. And then you can make a little trap door. And you can pee in space. It's like peeing in the shower. Although I don't do that. So I think it's fucking disgusting. Yeah, like if that's a brand new costume that he went out on an adventure where he didn't have like access to another
I don't care about
costume or anything, and he's
opinions
just
about
coming back
costumes
from
and things
like
like that.
and
This
being embattled from one
doesn't
battle,
mean
and then
anything to me.
you get a new costume.
If you watch my channel for any amount of time, you know that I don't challenge subjective stuff unless I have a different opinion. I don't necessarily think the costume looks great, but it's fine. It's all about personal taste.
Because, you know, fuck. You're prolific DC superhero, sir.
Tell me what you know about manhunters.
Hello.
Why wouldn't Hal Jordan know about manhunters unless they're going to be keeping it secret, and that's the secret the Guardians are keeping from Hal and everybody else, is that they...
It's almost like you're getting it when you start to think about the show and try to unravel the mystery. It makes sense. I always find that this kind of stuff exposes these guys for the frauds they are. It really exposes them for the fraudulent behavior they engage in when they don't get stuff. You know, like simple things that people get, they don't understand it.
They created the manhunters before. That's probably going to be part of it, right? The thing is, you're going to hear people mention manhunters, Gotham, Red Lanterns, Green Lanterns, Sinestro.
But I thought they were ashamed of the source material. Why would they mention all these things if they weren't okay with it?
It's all going to be like old people in street clothes.
Got him.
Shit. And Sinestro.
You don't like him in his suit, but you don't like him in street clothes either. Again, like, which goal are we hitting here? Is it the street clothes the problem? Is it the costume not being attractive that's the problem? Is it the sunburn that's the problem? Which one is it? All these things, all of them.
Is just an old guy back from his vacation in the Mediterranean because he's fucking sunburned. No, I agree. I 100% agree. Kyle Chandler's good casting. Aaron Pierre's good casting. It's the words coming out of their pie holes that are terrible.
Right.
But man, what a shocker, everybody. Something from Tom King and Damon Lindelof is ass. So far, we got to be fair. It could turn it all around in episode 3, right? And by the time it's over, we're going to go, woo, those first 2 episodes suck balls, but man, that was a good series.
But I wouldn't believe you, though. That's the problem, is you make it so unbelievable. And there's no incentive for it to be good. Like, you are training your audience now, and your audience, as you said, the chat is king. You said this, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers has said it. Like, your audience drives you. It's not the other way around. You are not the drivers of the car. You're like 5 or 6, 7 seats in the back. You're just there to say the thing they want to hear on camera. Because you're totally driven by your livelihoods being YouTube. And when YouTube is your livelihood, this is the clown behavior that you start to partake in.
Sweet summer child. Yeah, I think the likelihood of this thing turning around by episode 8 would be nothing short of a miracle.
Right. So you're already establishing, how you feel about it. I think we're done with this video. It's already been long enough. I mean, so many things here that jumped out at me. I mean, you spent half of your review talking about issues with black people, making accusations with no proof. You name it. You guys watched it with me. You saw it. And then your complaints about the episode, or about the other parts of the episode, are really you don't like mysteries. They're ashamed of the source material, but they also reference the source material too much. They spend too little money, but they should also spend more money so that you complain about it being too expensive like you did with She-Hulk. What am I missing? What else? Like they wear street clothes sometimes, but you don't like the suits that they have. Like it's a never-ending list of unobtainable goals with these guys. The flop watching continues. The cope continues. They got to keep the lights on somehow. I just wish they could do it without being pieces of shit.